Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
How about this right here, Chris Spielman? I could see you as a part of Club Dub.
Yeah, do the hustle. Do the hustle. They hustling on the field.
They're having fun in a Windy City, no doubt about that. Now, we mentioned the Bears still have an eye on catching the Rams. They would win a tiebreaker over the Rams should they finish with identical record because Chicago beat the Rams a couple of weeks ago. Let's go downstairs to Shannon Spink.
Tom, Chris, you're not getting into Club Dub. There are no more tickets available, according to the Bears that I spoke with. But you know, back in January at his introductory press conference, Matt Nagy said connecting with players was one of his strengths, and boy, oh boy, he is connecting. Club Dub, just one of those ways. He is having fun, and it is contagious. In fact, Akeem Hicks, defensive tackle who's going to the Pro Bowl, told me back at week 4, this is the most connected team that he's been a part of. Moments ago, he told me it's only grown. The energy is different, and a lot of that has to do with their head coach. Hicks also said that the 49ers are not playing like a 4-11 team. That is something the Bears have to be aware of today. Tom?
Shannon, thank you. Matt Nagy, 40 years young, out of Manheim, Pennsylvania, the winningest first-year head coach for the Bears since Papa Bear Hallis went 10-1-2 back in 1920. And a 39-year-old Denver native, Kyle Shanahan, his father, of course, Hall of Fame coach Mike Shanahan, and his team on a 2-game winning streak. The Niners won the toss, referred to getting the football in the second half, and this is Anthony Miller, the rookie, crossing the 25 and down at the 27-yard line. Trubisky is a native Buckeye, 24 years young, from Mentor, Ohio, played collegiately, only 1 year as a starter at the University of North Carolina. And you see in his last 6 starts, he missed 2 games with a shoulder injury. He's unbeaten.
Well, you look at him, and he's just getting more comfortable with the offense, making quick decisions, getting rid of the football, and he's always a threat to run it. Take a throwing lane and turn it into a running lane.
47.
They put the ball in the hands of Robinson, and the wide receiver picks up close to 10. He looks to be about a yard shy. Yeah, he is. It's a 9-yard gain for Allen Robinson. And Chicago on offense, you just said they feel like they're getting better every week.
Yeah, and of course you have to be aware of Tariq Cohen out of the backfield. Also a good runner, but I'm telling you, he's a nightmare matchup for linebackers and safeties. I'm interested in seeing how the 49ers try to cover him out in space.
Well, he has not been on the field for either one of these first 2 plays.
Go!
Bellamy in motion, and they throw it to Bellamy, and he cuts it back to the inside and picks up a first down up to the 43-yard line. Got a good block from Trey Burton. This 49er defense, they've had so many injuries, but Chris, they have played well these last 2 weeks.
Well, and they're playing hard. And you look, they started 8 safeties this year. A guy that's playing pretty well for them besides DeForest Buckner, Solomon Thomas. Fred Warner, the rookie. 2 rookies in the back end. Tavarius Moore coming off a solid game against the Seahawks as a rookie last week.
Sure did. He got moved from safety to cornerback, was practicing at left cornerback. They moved him over to right cornerback, and coming off a solid game. That was Cohen in motion, and they put it in the hands of Mizell. His first carry, second-year back out of Virginia, just his 9th rushing attempt on the year. Mizell picking up a yard on first down, so 2nd and 9. And Tariq Cohen still standing over there on that sideline. He is, without a doubt, their most dynamic and electrifying offensive player.
Go!
Trubisky delivers a strike across midfield to Trey Burton. He came over, of course, after winning a Super Bowl a year ago with Philadelphia. And that is his 45th reception of the year. It brings up 3rd down and 2.
I like the rhythm, though, that Trubisky's in, and Matt Nagy's putting him in that rhythm, throwing the short passes to get him going, to get his confidence. And remember, everything's based off conviction throws. see the field, throw to the guy that's open, make a quick decision, and early on, Mitchell's done that.
Yeah, Florida.
And it's incomplete, looking for Robinson down to the 35-yard line. So the 49ers will force Chicago to punt on its opening drive of the game.
It's the right read by Mitchell Trubisky. He sees the corner jump up, and the ball's a little bit late. So he's throwing the ball too far for Robinson to bring it in, and that's on a safety. So he read the corner and threw the corner. The corner jumped up. Trubisky made the right read, just a little late on the delivery.
Trent Taylor, wide receiver, waiting back on this punt from Pat O'Donnell. And it's into the end zone. So the 49ers will get the football for the first time today against this bruising Chicago defense. Is right now for the 49ers. 23-year-old out of Birmingham, Alabama, made his NFL debut week 9. Spent the entire 2017 season on the practice squad. This is his 7th start. He's 3-3.
Yeah.
And this is a good running back in Matt Breida. He'll pick up a yard. Gang tackled, led by Danny Trevathan. 49ers. 364 yards per game. That ranks 13th overall in the NFL.
You see, obviously, when you play the 49ers, George Kittle, the #1 target you got to be aware of on the defensive side. The offensive line has been good, not great. Better run blockers and pass blockers.
So a pair of Pro Bowlers on this 49er offense. And that is a catch made by Dante Pettis. And he is dragged down 4 yards shy of a first down. Chicago overall on defense, #3. And #3 in scoring defense.
Well, here's what I love about them. They're good at all 3 levels. They got Pro Bowlers at all 3 levels. And around those Pro Bowlers, they have really good players. There's not a weakness on this defense. And they get after you.
They are missing one of those Pro Bowlers today, however, Eddie Jackson. 6 interceptions, 3 touchdowns on the year for Jackson. That ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage, and it's 3 and out against this Bear defense. See if we can tell who got a paw on that thing right around the line of scrimmage.
So one thing about the Bear defense, they do such a great job of bringing 4, meaning they can drop 7. And right here, you know you're not going to get there, but that's Akeem Hicks who's working off the double team, has his eyes on the quarterback to get up to block the shot.
Well, what a pickup Hicks has turned out to be. In his 3rd year now with the Bears, going to his 1st Pro Bowl, and he has earned it. No score. 10:35 to go in the opening quarter. What a turnaround on offense for the Chicago Bears. Of course, Trubisky was a rookie a season ago. Started 12 games, threw 7 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and he's been up and down a lot of this year.
Yeah, and the biggest difference is obviously philosophical change on the offensive play calling.
In the hands of Tariq Cohen. And he steps out of bounds very close to the first down marker, maybe about a foot short.
And here's a perfect example of that. You have 3 running backs in the game at this point. Howard, Cohen, and Mizell was blocked out here for a blocker, but you get him out in space. That's the whole thing about that. Get him out in space, and he can do that. Just make people miss in space. That's why he's so dangerous, and that's why Mitchell Trubisky's numbers have gone up, because Matt Nagy puts him in positions to win with his offense, and he makes you defend the whole field.
Trubisky coming off an excellent game in the win over Green Bay. 2 touchdowns, no turnovers, 235 passing yards. But that was on the heels of one of the worst games of his career. That was in the win over the Rams, and denied first down yardage is Jordan Howard, so it brings up 3rd down and less than a yard.
Under center, the Bears, when he's under center, they run it 77% of the time. That means hit these gaps downhill. You get penetration, you force Jordan Howard not to go north and south, but go sideways and let your pursuit get there. That's a play call right there. That's a defensive adjustment. I'm, as a coordinator, knowing they're running the ball 77% of the time, I'm playing the percentages.
Ronald Blair III getting more and more playing time and playing well. Third down. And Howard has enough for a first down up to the 38-yard line.
See, that's what he is, right? He's north-south guy. Put your foot in the ground once, not twice, then go straight downhill. Just north-south. See that hole? Good job up front by Daniels, kicking out Warner, creating that space. Leno getting a block, winning the short yardage battles. Bears football.
Leno, his 63rd consecutive start at left tackle for the Chicago Bears. What a find he turned out to be in the 7th round 4 years ago. Pressure coming. Trubisky airs it out. And making a diving reception is Robinson.
They're working away from trips, right? You have a two-man game right here. You have Moore picking up Cohen, and you have Warner helping on Cohen, excuse me. And Harris, you have to understand, deep is the deepest in this situation. And Trubisky throws it where his guy or no guy gets it. Well done. That's why Cohen is so effective, Tommy.
Hey, gotta go far.
Demands so much attention that you create one-on-one matchups with safeties with wide receivers. You're going to win.
Ball start. Offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's a rookie out of Iowa, James Daniels. His 9th start of the year. He basically has replaced Josh Sitton, who was replaced by Eric Kush, and now it's to Daniels, and he's having a good year.
Yeah, he is. The thing I love about him, he plays not to the whistle, but he plays through the whistle. Not dirty, but he's going to finish every single play.
Yeah.
Cohen in the slot at the top of your screen. And Trubisky into the end zone, into traffic. And it's incomplete. He was looking at Adam Shaheen, and Exum was back there.
I think Adam Shaheen is going to be a factor as this Bear offense moves into the playoffs. He's just going to run a seam route, and Trubisky's going to throw this ball high. He's got to work that matchup, understands that Adam Shaheen can go up and get it, just put it up over top a little bit higher. But as we move in, that's pass interference, by the way. He was hanging on him. But if we move into the playoffs, if you're a Bears fan, I do think Shaheen will be a big factor along with Trey Burton from that tight end position.
Well, he was activated in mid-November. It's only 4 games back. He had 2 catches for 39 yards against Green Bay last week. Turn around and hand it off to Cohen. Breaks a couple of tackles. But it'll bring up 3rd down and long, and we say hello for the first time today to Carissa Thompson. Hello, Carissa.
Hi, Tom. So the Eagles down by 1 in a wild back-and-forth game. Jake Elliott hits this game-winning 35-yard field goal. Defending champs keeping their playoff hopes alive. Houston now falls to the 3 seed in the AFC, and the Pats move to the 2 seed. Tom?
Of course, Jake Elliott, born and raised in Chicago, out in the western suburbs. Great story. Did not start kicking until his senior year of high school. Third down. Dump it off to Howard. An outstanding tackle made in the open field by K'Waun Williams.
I think Trubisky and Taylor Gabriel were not on the same page. Gabriel doesn't run a route. Trubisky's looking right at Gabriel. He's going to quit on his route, but Trubisky staying calm, finds Howard on the check down, so you don't waste a play and you give yourself a good position for a field goal. That's communication right there. I think Gabriel and Trubisky need to talk about that on the sidelines.
37-yard try by Cody Parkey. He's missed 6 times this year. And he's missed 7 times this year. And I can promise you, back in Chicago, Every Bears fan is wondering, how in the world did we ever let Robbie Gould walk out the door?
Yeah, here's what we were talking about with Gabriel not being on the same page. Watch Mitchell Trubisky's head, and there's Gabriel running around, but he's not really running around. So Trubisky had to come off and go and make the smart decision to the check down. And he was over there on the sidelines talking to him about it.
And those 7 misses by the field goal kicker, the most among all kickers in the NFL. First catch made by Kittle, but not much more, maybe just a yard. Shannon?
Yeah, as you just mentioned, Chris certainly came over to Taylor Gabriel. He also talked to his center and his right guard immediately after catching up with Nagy. So just all trying to get on the same page in terms of communication.
And all of that perhaps set up by the fact that Robinson had to go back into the locker room after making that 43-yard reception a moment ago.
Hopefully he's okay.
Mullins down the middle of the field. He was looking for Pettis, who got tangled up on that far sideline. It looked like with Kyle Fuller. Fuller, big time year for him. Leads the NFL with 7 interceptions.
Well, this is what I like about Fuller. Making plays, right? Understanding the route, giving the inside release. And that's just a poorly thrown ball. But because he was a little bit physical with him on the line of scrimmage, that may have disrupted that timing of the route. Because usually Mullins is right on.
Fuller had a total of 8 interceptions his first 3 years in the league. 7 this year, and another batted ball at the line of scrimmage and a second straight possession against this extraordinary Chicago defense, and it's 3 and out.
So, you know, one of the pass rush is so good because you're so concerned about the outside, right? But he does not have a pocket to step up into because we have pressure coming inside that collapses the pocket, and it's Akeem Hicks. Again, getting that big paw in the air. I love how the fact he takes his eyes off the blocker, Tom, and puts it on the quarterback.
Robertson Harris also working on the stunt, applying the pressure. Flag comes down, fair catch at the 31-yard line.
Real quick, you remember we talked about how the 49ers are really good run blockers, average pass blockers. They really have trouble with any movement from a defensive line stunt.
Holding, return team. Number 31, 10-yard penalty. Chicago keeps the ball. First down. Timeout.
That's Marcus Williams. So the Bears will get backed up. We're scoreless with 5:02 to go in the opening quarter. George Papa Bear Halas went 10-1-2 his first year in 1920. The Bears in those days were known as the Decatur Staleys. And here we are in 2018, Matt Nagy joining Papa Bear, picking up 10 wins, and he still has today and next week to go. In the hands of Gabriel, blocking the back will bring this back. That is going to be on the rookie Anthony Miller. He just shoved K'Wan Williams in the back.
Ineligible downfield. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Well, they caught him on the right tackle spot as well, Bobby Massey.
Yeah, the rule is 1 yard. You're not allowed to be past 1 yard. The referees, though, and the officials usually keep the flag in the holster. It's a generous 1 yard, and Bobby was down there about 2 or 3 yards.
Now, you picked up that you think the Bears have done quite a bit of that this year.
They get away with it a little bit, and, you know, teams usually tell the officials or warn officials before the game. They do a good job of disguising that.
Trubisky is dropped inside the 10. Cassius Marsh, his 4th sack of the year.
So we talk about stunts, right? How the 49ers offensive line struggles with stunts. Right here, the Bears are going to struggle with the stunt. You're going to have here, you're going to have a draw double team right there. Cassius Marsh is patient, going to come up the field and close the deal. That's Solomon Thomas drawing the double team. Daniels does not come off, and Marsh is able to get that short corner on a straight line to Trubisky.
Solomon Thomas, a #1 pick a year ago. He was the first draft pick of that regime of John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. And escaping trouble in the end zone is Cohen and K'Wan Williams. who's been nicked up out with a knee injury the last 2 weeks, is back in there today.
Wow, excellent run support right here. Playing the down and distance and understanding with Cohen in the backfield that this is a possibility, but you're going to see K'Waun Williams come from the top of your screen right here and just have a great field, disregarding anything for a pass, beats Cody Whitehair, slows him up enough for the troops to rally.
This has been a very different 49er team these last 2 weeks, especially on the defensive side of the ball, and on offense with Mullins throwing for huge yardage. Third and forever. Gabriel needs to get all the way to the 31. He'll get just to the 21, so the Bears will punt it. Neither team getting anything going early on outside of that missed field goal by Parkey.
Good stop for the 49er defense, confidence booster. They play with great energy. They're playing with a lot of young guys, right? A lot of guys that weren't starting, especially in the back end. Remember, 8 different starting combinations at safety.
Yep.
But they play hard and they get after it.
Very short kick. And Taylor will just let it bounce. Wisely so. He'll be down inside the 40, close to the 35-yard line. And we're right back after this message from Progressive. So Nick Mullins and the San Francisco offense. Their third possession, you see the first 3 starts, and what he's done the last 3 starts, averaging 340 passing yards. He's thrown for over 1,000 yards in the last 3 games, and almost 700 against Seattle. The most ever against the Seahawks franchise since Pete Carroll took over. Breida, this guy's a good-looking player. For those that have you not seen Breida, when he's healthy, and he's been nicked up a little bit here of late with a tender ankle, but a good player.
Yeah, he's got juice. He's got a great burst, and McGlinchey gets the key block. The rookie offensive tackle is going to get the hook. That means he's going to get his body in the gap responsibility of the defensive lineman, allows the clear space for Breida. And once he sees a hole, Tom, he explodes through that hole.
Breida had back-to-back 100-yard games a couple of weeks ago. Injured his ankle. He's been slowed down a bit these last 2 games, and he can do this as well. That's his 27th catch out of the backfield. And for the first time, the 49ers were into Chicago territory.
You know, just on a Bears defense, nobody jumps routes like the Bears defense, right? Because they trust that their pass rush is going to get there, so they can take chances. So there's very little room for run after catch. The counter for that, if you're the 49ers, if your protection can hold up, you start doing with a double move. A little hook and go, a little out and up, a little slant and go. All these things can play in as we move forward through this game.
They pitch it to Breida, trying to turn the corner, and he will find his way very close to a first down marker. Good pursuit over there by Dion Bush, a safety who is replacing the injured Eddie Jackson here today. Bush, a former 4th-round pick out of Miami.
Kyle Fuller gave himself up just a little bit. Tried to take the legs of McGlinchey. By doing that, he gave that edge. Had good support. Just gave up a little early on.
3rd down and 2. And this is Wilson. Very, very close, depending on the spot. Jeff Wilson Jr., the rookie out of North Texas, who's become a bigger part of this offense the last couple of weeks with that injury we were talking about to Matt Breida.
Well, the thing about him, right? He started out bad. He had a screen pass drop, the fumble, the penalty. But in overtime, the big 16-yard run for Wilson to come back as a rookie. Nice play.
Well, that will be the final play of the opening quarter. The Bears come to Santa Clara with an eye on the number 2 seed in the NFC playoffs. And the Niners have come to play. No score. Reed able to walk back. He immediately goes under the tent Boy, injuries. I mean, obviously, they're all over the NFL. This Bear team has been extremely fortunate just till the last week or so. As far as the injury bug hitting. And that's an early start by the rookie, #1 pick out of Notre Dame.
Offense, number 69. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
But take a look at some of the skill position injuries this year to this 49er team. You know about Garoppolo. We saw him injure his knee against Kansas City. C.J. Beathard out. He got hurt. Jerick McKinnon before the year began. Alfred Morris. Now Breida. Garcon on injured reserve. Goodwin has been in and out of the lineup. The same thing with James. But they have found a way to play their best football here at the end of the year for the second straight year under Kyle Shanahan. Second down, Mullins looking for Bourne, and great coverage. And a flag comes in late. That was Sherrick McManus, who is in coverage of Kendrick Bourne. The Bears defenders can't believe it.
He's lucky he got this pass off clean, because a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year, Khalil Mack, forced Mullins to throw off his back foot.
There is no foul for pass interference. Third down.
See McManus, they're going to run a little bit of a wheel route. McManus has been a solid player for the Chicago Bears. There's a double move. We talked about how it was coming, Tom. McManus staying disciplined, not looking back at the quarterback, keeping his eyes on the guy, going up through the receiver's arms and getting that head turned around. He's a solid football player that Vic Fangio really likes, because he comes in and might not have the greatest numbers and all that. All he does is play football and make plays.
Breida now on his way to the locker room. It's a 3rd down and 10. 4-man rush. Mullins barely gets it away. Kittle able to get back to his feet and picks up a 1st down. Boy, they love this young tight end out of Iowa.
Well, there's a lot to love. First of all, his effort is outstanding. He's a good blocker, but this is what he does best. They got a little bunch formation right here. And Kittle is just going to find the open hole. You see that little option route, and Mullins throws him open. You saw Fuller come to the outside. Mullins throws to the inside, and Kittle doesn't stay on the ground.
And we saw both Fuller and Houston Carson fall down. The field and the conditions of the field were a huge factor last week against the Seahawks. There's a 1st down reception made by Pettis, a rookie. And #2 round pick out of Washington. It's a 1st down to the Chicago 15.
You know, the thing about Nick Mullins, and because this is so far off, this is almost an automatic read, because you watch this offensive line, it looks like they're run blocking, but they have an unspoken communication between Pettis and Mullins. With Fuller that far off for a quick slant.
So Wilson's going to be the man for the time being. He's to the 11-yard line. And let's check in once more in L.A. with Carissa.
Thanks, Tom. So the Rams looking to keep their hold on that 2 seed. No Todd Gurley, so Jared Goff hands this one off to Robert Woods, who ends up 2nd. Tom, Chris, and Shannon.
All right, Carissa, thank you very much. That's a 5-yard carry on 1st down. This is where the Niners have really struggled this year. It's not getting in the red zone. They've been there 43 times, but only 18 touchdowns. And that's the lowest percentage inside the red zone among all NFL teams. Fake it to Wilson. Dump it to Kittle. And a flag comes in late. Adrian Amos Jr. on the stop, well short of a 1st down. But we wait on the flag.
Illegal block in the back. Offense number 81. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That's Trent Taylor.
Well, so what you're trying to do is you're trying to help any way you can on Khalil Mack. Now, Trent Taylor's so small that I don't even think Khalil Mack feels him. But right here, you're going to help out McGlinchey by trying to chip on Mack. But Mack is so quick off the ball that he had to push him in the back.
Why are you always picking on the little guy?
Well,
I mean, you know, why you got to beat up Taylor like that?
I love Trent Taylor.
You want to go Black Mac?
No, no.
I mean, come on.
I love Trent Taylor, but that man must be accounted for. And if you leave him one-on-one with an offensive tackle, you're taking your chances because he does two things very well. He has both speed rush and power rush, and that makes everybody nervous on the offense. That's why he's a great pass rusher.
I mean, I'm just uncomfortable with the way you're always beating up on the little guy.
I love the little guy. I love you, don't I?
Oh, thanks. Why'd I know that was coming? Early game headlines, and there's a lot happening around the NFL. I mean, a lot going on heading into the final weekend next weekend. Well, we do know the Cowboys are champions of the NFC East. And we know the Minnesota Vikings will battle these Bears. There could be a ton on the line in that one next week. The Patriots have won their division again. That's almost decided before the season ever starts, it seems like, right?
It's just amazing what they're able to do. And they always get it going in the playoffs and peak at the right time.
So there you have your 4 division champions. There are 2 spots and 3 teams are still alive for the 2 final wild card spots. And that ball is loose. And taken off down the sideline is Amukamara, but is the pass catcher down? Amukamara goes all the way the other way. And Pettis is injured. The question is, was he already
down? The ball carrier was ruled down. There is no fumble.
The ruling on the field is a fumble.
As we're looking at these replays, you want to know why the Bears are so good. It's because they rally to the football. And right here, Leonard Floyd's going to come in and help with the tackle. And Amukamara is going for that ball, and that ball is out. But that's why they had 35 takeaways before this one. First guy in, secure the tackle. Second guy in, strip the ball. Oh, that left knee might have been down.
Yeah, that left knee's down.
Yeah, left knee down.
There's no doubt. This one will stay with the 49ers, but they're worried about Pettis as he is down on the field at the 20-yard line. Boy, taking the football away. 35 takeaways by this Chicago defense this year. They have, what, 6 defensive touchdowns?
Well, and a lot of it is they understand, right? First of all, Leonard Floyd is smart enough to not go for the football. He's going to secure the tackle. With Amukamara right there, he knows I'm second guy in. The second guy in automatically comes to strip that football. And right here, Amukamara is doing that, and we saw that left knee touch down, and possibly another devastating injury for young receiver Dante Pettis. It's good to see him walk off.
He's needing help, though. While they get him to the sideline, let's check in once more in Los Angeles with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Tom. This assistant Aaron Rodgers is really good. Finds Devontae Adams for this walk-off 16-yard score. Rodgers finishes with 442 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. Packers get their first road win of the season. Tom?
All right, thank you very much. The play is being challenged by Kyle Shanahan. This drive began all the way back on their 37-yard line.
Well, you see the defense out there huddling up, so I don't know how confident they are that it's not going to get overturned. But right here is Pettis again. Leonard Floyd coming from his linebacker position.
And the ruling on the field is actually not a fumble, so it is Nagy that is throwing the challenge flag, the Chicago head coach. I misspoke earlier saying the ruling on the field was Pettis' knee was down, no fumble. That was confirmed on replay after the challenge by Nagy, so the Bears lose a timeout. And it's third down. Wilson off the left side, and he will be stopped. And out comes the longtime Chicago Bear, Robbie Gould. In his 14th year out of Penn State, a kicker with the Bears for 11 seasons from 2005, released in 2015 before the start of the year. The Bears' all-time leader in made field goals. He has missed 3 field goals in 81 attempts since leaving Chicago. 3 in 2.5 years. And it's still 3. This guy is money. I mean money. And boy, he had such beautiful comments. It's a lesson for anybody out there that you don't have to burn bridges on the way out. Gold didn't do it when he left Chicago, and all the articles that were written this week, he said, hey, look, I had a lot of good years in Chicago, but there that last year, I wasn't the kicker I used to be. I get it, was a business decision, really a money decision by the Bears at the time, but he still makes his home there. His children are growing up there. It was great stuff. Shannon?
Yeah, you should have seen him pregame. All the Bears fans that are down here were giving him so much love, taking pictures with him, even having him sign Bears jersey. So as you mentioned, no bridges burned, a lot of love on both sides.
Consistent. That's all you want from your kicker. Consistency. You don't see a lot of that in today's day and age of the NFL.
Pettis on his way to the locker room. Breida's come back out.
It's a good sign that he's walking on his own. Never want to see anybody hurt, seriously.
He's got that red hair going here in the holiday.
Got it going.
Mizell from the 3-yard line. And still on his feet across the 30. Flag comes in. Alex Kemp, our referee today.
During the return, holding, returning team, number 44. 10-yard penalty, first down Bears.
Well, the Bears last week with that victory over Green Bay. 4 straight years finishing in dead last in the NFC North. Through the Jay Cutler years, John Fox's final season last year, and now Trubisky. They're the first team to ever finish in dead last 4 straight seasons and then win that division the next year. First down carry by Jordan Howard. 3-0 49ers with 10:40 to play here in the first half.
It's that turnaround. You talk about the job that general manager Ryan Pace has done, making the trade for Khalil Mack, hiring that man right there. And probably the smartest thing that Matt did was maintain Vic Fangio as your defensive coordinator. That might have been the best signing.
Howard once more, very close to a first down. Looks like he hasn't. Of course, Vic Fangio, he was here in San Francisco. He was a defensive coordinator under Jim Harbaugh when they had those outstanding seasons here with the 49ers, 2011 through 2014. He is something.
Yeah, and the guys believe him. He's a smart guy. He gets it. He relates well to the players. He might have been dancing in there in Club Dub.
I don't know. I don't know.
He's straight business.
Here you go.
Howard, each of his first 2 seasons, of course. 5th-round pick out of Indiana, rushed for over 1,100 yards. He won't get there this year, but might be close.
No, it's a good push right here by this offensive line. You watch the double team come up to the second level. That's Witzman working with Whitehair. They do a great job of that, getting to the second level, allowing Jordan Howard to get through there, kicking Elijah Lee out. That's the one thing they do really well is combo block to the second level as an offensive line. Teamwork.
Now a 4th straight carry. Nope. Trubisky's going to hang on to it. Boy, they're getting cute right there. Is that a fumble?
Yes, it is.
And it looks like the 49ers have covered it up on 2nd down and a foot after Howard's running through the San Francisco defense. The Bears try some trickery, and it backfires, and the 49ers are in business.
So I'm all about the trick plays. I mean, I love good, cute names with the trick plays. But you got this guy that's been running, and he's running hard. He's got a rhythm. We're coming here now. Sometimes Mitchell Trubisky, you got to make a decision just to eat it. K'Wan Williams is there to take out Tariq Cohen. But you don't need that in that situation because your offensive line was starting to take control. Jordan Howard was getting into the rhythm. No tricks were needed.
That is the first takeaway by the San Francisco defense since October the 7th in a game against Arizona. I mean, think about that for a minute. We told you the Bears have 35 takeaways as a team this year. The 49ers just got their 6th takeaway this year. We understand this play now is under review.
Well, it's a backwards pass. I just think Jordan Howard is getting in a rhythm, right? And Mitchell's got to understand the situation. K'Waun Williams did not go for Mitchell Trubisky. He went to Tariq Cohen before the ball was thrown to Tariq Cohen. That's assignment football.
All right, so we're going to take a timeout while they take a look at this one upstairs.
So everybody knew it was a backwards pass. What they were checking to see if Fred Warner, number 48's foot is out of bounds when he tips the ball. Right there, the ball's tipped. Both feet are still in bounds. Let's play ball.
All right, the 49ers with a big takeaway. Their first in over 2.5 months. Oh, dangerous throw. And somehow, some way, Marquise Goodwin hangs on to the ball.
So receivers get a lot of flack, right?
From you, mainly.
No.
Yeah, from you, mainly.
I'm all about the receivers.
Yeah.
They're a little bit, some people call them divas. But listen,
some do.
To play in the NFL as a wide receiver, you go across the middle, you got to have courage. And right there, Marquise Goodwin showed a lot of courage.
And you're showing a lot of courage.
Yeah. I'm telling the truth. I'm a truth teller.
Second down, they pitch it to Wilson, who's in there for the injured Breida. And good pursuit led by that outstanding nose tackle, Eddie Goldman. They got a lot of other guys on this team who get a lot more pub than Goldman, but he is rock solid right there in the middle of this defense.
That's what we talked about, how they have, all pros at all 3 levels, right? But these all pros aren't surrounded by like rookies or free agents or street guys. These are all pros are surrounded by really, really good football players. And I think a future all-pro in Roquan Smith when he gets it going.
That's their #1 pick, who had the long holdout. Smith did out of Georgia. He's their leading tackler by far.
Instincts, speed.
Way down, and they'll run it. And the push forward is enough for a first down to the 15-yard line.
You get the feeling that Kyle Shanahan just said, let's make it a street fight today. All right, the monsters of the midway. If you got fear of a monster, you got to attack the monster. So just start attacking the monster. And he wants to run the football, and they really are well balanced. They're getting a great push up front from this offensive line. Right there, Person standing in his block. Laken Tomlinson finishing his block. Max coming in trying to drive him back, but the rookie is fighting and clawing for everything he can get in Wilson Jr.
Wilson, a college free agent out of tiny North Texas. '49ers will spend a timeout, their first and now second of this half. Fox will be right here on New Year's Eve for the Red Box Bowl. Oregon from the Pac-12 and from the mighty Big Ten, Michigan State, 2:30 Eastern on Fox. Then flip over later at FS1. It'll be Utah and our buddy Pat Fitzgerald in Northwestern in the San Diego Credit Union Holiday Bowl. Love Pat Fitzgerald.
That should be a great game. And Kyle Whittingham, the head coach of Utah, year in and year out, produces a very good, productive football team. Doesn't get a lot of notice, but he's an outstanding coach.
Well, how do you not love Fitzgerald?
He loves Northwestern. I know that.
Yes, he does. Great player, great coach. And Mullins to the end zone. And dropped in the end zone, or was it batted away? It looked like Kittle had his hands on the football. Amos, I think, swatted it away.
This is a great job right here. When you have this guy bearing down on you, Nick Mullins, really a good athlete, not a great athlete, enough to avoid Khalil Mack to get the eyes back downfield, and Amos has the left hand in there to rip it out. And Amos is a really good player, right? Nice compliment to Eddie Jackson.
Well, he got away with a pass interference penalty right there. But a good play nonetheless. They pitch it to Wilson. And he is met by Akeem Hicks to the 11-yard line. Which will bring up 3rd down and 6. Maybe they'll spot it at the 12, which makes it 3rd and 7.
See if they get aggressive right here. Again, the one thing you don't want to do, and Kyle Shanahan talks about this in his production meetings. Didn't have a chance to talk to Matt Nagy this week, but Kyle told us you never want to take a sack in the red zone. There's some stat out there that you might miss the field goal if you take a sack. He's very conscious of that.
They pick up Mack. I'm not sure where that was going yet. 2 receivers, Bourne and Kittle, right next to one another. And once more, the field goal unit comes out as this Bear defense makes a play.
Well, the secondary is outstanding. You're going to work here a 3-man route. And notice how there's not separation created. Kittle's covered. Leonard Floyd is back in the throwing lane. There's nowhere to go with the ball because none of the receivers are able to create any separation from the Bear defenders.
And Amukamara missing a chance for an interception. Now 30 yards out from goal. And it's good. 80 for 83 since Robbie Gould was cut loose. Mercer.
It's Gold, Jerry. It's Gold, Jerry.
This is a big, big game for the Bears. They still have an eye on that number 2 seed. So, how do they get there? Well, they get a number 2 seed, which means, of course, a first-round bye. If they win their final 2 games and the Rams lose one of their final 2, or they win one of 2 and the Rams lose both of their games, the Rams are playing right now with a 14-9 lead and make it a 21-9 lead over Arizona. The Bears next week are in Minnesota. The 49ers go to the Coliseum.
You look at this Bears team, right? Obviously, they're a tremendous defense, playoff-ready defense. And Matt talked about it this week in his press conference. We're a playoff-ready offense, but we have to get better. And they have to learn, because in the playoffs, if you want to get to the promised land, you've got to be a powerful, productive offense on the road. And they're going to have to go on the road.
All right, so we mentioned that the 4 division winners have been determined in the NFC, but there are 2 spots open for 3 teams. The 3 teams, Seattle, they had a chance to clinch here last week, couldn't do it. And now all of a sudden, they're in the hunt with Minnesota. Vikings getting a big win today on the road. They'll play these Bears at home next week. And the Eagles. Don't look now. Nick Foles leads them to another great win.
It's amazing how he turns it on in December. And by the way, all the way through February last year.
Robinson back in the game. You may remember he was nipped up earlier. Trubisky being chased down, and he'll be caught from behind by Marsh. That'll be his 2nd sack of the game.
He's going all Karate Kid. Cobra Kai. Catches Marsh getting upfield. And again, I can't emphasize enough, never to lose sight of the target. He's working on number 70, Massey, right here. He's going outside, can't get there. Watch him retrace the steps and is able to close. And again, the discipline to keep your eyes on your target as a pass rusher. Don't get buried inside those big offensive linemen.
Pocket collapses. It's Marsh again chasing. And Trubisky rolling, throws. And is that a catch on the far side? It is. What a beautiful job by Trubisky. And a penalty flag, however, may bring this one back. On the far sideline, right in front of the Chicago bench. Well, what a beautiful job by Trubisky
While the
there.
quarterback still had the ball. Holding. Defense, number 36. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a 1st down for Chicago.
Mizell on the reception and the penalty against Marcel Harris, but Trubisky made that happen.
Well, I think the biggest difference between Trubisky last year and this year is last year he's going to take off and run. This year, he's going to stay patient. You know, he had a time 4.67 speed coming out of college. I think he plays faster than that. But look at the eyes. Right away, flicks the head around, eyes downfield, and makes a tough throw with conviction. Another big term between Trubisky and Nagy.
This is Cohen trying to turn the corner and run out of bounds after a gain of close to 3. Shannon Spink.
Chris, you just mentioned how Trubisky plays a lot faster than he looks in the combine. And that, he says, has a lot to do with his off-season training. He said certainly the game has slowed down for him, but he did a lot of interval training and a lot of things that are not traditional for a quarterback in the off-season to try to increase that speed and his flexibility, and you've certainly seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it, even from this year to last year. And that's such a dangerous weapon. I mean, you play your rear end off, and here's the quarterback running for first downs all over the place.
He's run for over 400 yards this year. They fake it to Howard and come back to Howard with blockers in front of him. That's a convoy in front of Howard. And that's a first down to the 31-yard line.
It's all set up with Howard in the ball game. Remember, 77% run under center. Howard's going to do a good job of play action. Now watch these guys get out. They actually have to wait. The whole defense, because they're so aggressive, is tracing Mitchell Trubisky. And look at the convoy, as you said, Tom, set up out in front. Excellent call by Matt Nagy. Execution by Howard, who does have good hands out of the backfield.
Gain of almost 17. Just outside the 30. They fake it to Howard, and Trubisky again on the run. Throws down the field. And there's a man you rarely ever hear much from. Braunecker, just his 3rd catch of the year. He's a 3rd tight end for the Chicago offense.
All the play action slows down the pass rush because he has all day to throw. And Braunecker is going to come all the way from the opposite side over here, not quitting on the route. Mitchell Trubisky making that throw with conviction. That's with confidence, believing in the play, and making it on time and on target without hesitation.
18-yard pickup in Chicago. Knocking on the door. Trubisky stays on his feet, still on his feet, and throws an interception in the end zone. There is a flag down. K'Waun Williams with a pick. But after all that work, the mistake made by Trubisky. But is this going to be against San Francisco?
Well, the quarterback still had the ball. Holding. Defense number 48. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down for the Bears.
Well, that's a huge call.
Well, I've been in the position that Fred Warner was in. When you have a quarterback scrambling around, it's tough to keep your coverage when he's scrambling around, so you get a little bit nervous and you grab on right there. And I don't know if that was a big-time hold or not. That was a friendly call for the Bear offense.
Warner, their rookie, like Chicago's leading tackler, he is out for the 49ers. They hand it to Anthony Miller. And he is stood up by Elijah Lee at the 5-yard line.
Where Tariq Cohen's value is not only when he has the ball in his hands, but with the ball out of his hands. Because he's such a weapon, especially in this red zone area, oftentimes Matt Nagy does a good job of using him as a decoy like he did there. Trying to get Anthony Miller involved.
We have reached a 2-minute warning. Chicago trying to take the lead. 2-minute warning, and the Bears have the football. A 2nd down and goal at the San Francisco 5-yard line. 49ers a 6-0 lead.
Away with could have been a crucial error. Bailed out by the holding call on Fred Warner.
We have not called the name of Richard Sherman. He is so rarely targeted by opposing teams when they're looking to throw the football. Boy, these Bears will trick you every now and again. When it works, it looks great. When it doesn't work, it doesn't look so good.
Well, this is Ronald Blair. Working out here, number 98 on Massey. Now watch him. He's going to be able to get in there to knock Howard down right there. He took Massey and knocked the intended receiver down. Just a power rush. You're not going to guard him. Take your offensive tackle, drive him into the back. It's good coverage.
Late play of this drive. It's 3rd down and goal. And Trubisky rolls. And it is a touchdown. Anthony Miller. His 7th touchdown of the year. But only 1 catch in the last 3 weeks. And they're hoping that he can finish strong. And now point after away from a lead.
So this is a double move route, right? He's going to sell the fade on Tarvarius Moore. Watch him sell the fade, but then run a comeback. And Mitchell Trubisky can throw the ball on the run, gets his shoulder square. See that fake fade? Then working back to the football. Perfectly timed by Anthony Miller and a strike by Trubisky.
Now parking for the point after. And it is good. So with 1:52 to go, Trubisky threw an interception in the end zone, but that was called back on a penalty against the 49ers, and capitalizes with this.
I mean, I've watched Trubisky, and the one thing I do like, and very accurate on the run. He doesn't have to have everything married. Arms, feet, shoulders, they don't have to be married when he's on the run. Now, when he's in the pocket, this is where Matt Nagy talked to him about everything has to be married to the target. Feet, shoulder, arms, right to the target. On the run, he can sling it.
Now you talk about this Chicago offense, and you brought it up, Chris, about, you know, they're going to have to sooner or later in the playoffs win on the road. For Trubisky, that is just his 5th touchdown away from Soldier Field this year, and the first one he has thrown since he had 3 in that game against Miami, which you may remember was a loss. They called that the Sun game up in Chicago.
I just talked to him. I mean, you spent time with him. You can feel his confidence grow.
Kicker lost his footing, and this should set up good field position for the 49ers. That's Matthew Days up to the 32-yard line, and let's check in with Kurt Menefee and see what's coming up on the Visa Halftime Report. Kurt.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime, we'll catch you up on the flurry of early games as well as the new playoff picture. Plus, we'll fill you in on the cold facts of that important Steelers game in New Orleans. We're just getting warmed up. Stick around. The Visa Halftime is next. Tom, Chris, and Shannon.
All right, Kurt, Merry Christmas. An early Happy New Year to all. So the 49ers have 1 timeout left. And just under 2 minutes to go until halftime. They'll start this drive with a run to Wilson. And he runs through Roquan Smith and brings it up to the 40-yard line, a gain of 8.
Rookie on rookie.
Shannon Spake, what's going on the injury front?
Yeah, Tom, this 49ers is going to have to try to put this drive together without some of their key offensive targets. He's tight end Garrett Selleck. He's been taken to the locker room with a head injury. And Dante Pettis, you saw him walk to the locker room about 10 minutes ago. He is questionable with a knee injury.
Not to mention Matt Breida.
Right. Breida's on the sideline. They have his helmet on. It's up to the 45-yard line. And now let's send it to Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Tom. So Saints up 7-6 on the Steelers when Taysom Hill hands it off to Alvin Kamara, who scores from 8 yards out, his 13th rushing touchdown of the season. Remember, Saints clinch home field with the win, currently leading 14-6.
Yeah, the Steelers are trying to get in. They had that huge loss in Oakland. We were there for that one. Bears are looking for offensive pass interference on Goodwin, and there is no flag.
Well, he needs to step up, right? Pettis is done. So Goodwin has to be a factor, and Mullins throws the ball perfectly. When you see the corner on top, that's when you throw the ball behind. The corner is on top of Goodwin. You see that? So Goodwin understands by practicing and route recognition, when that corner's on top of him, he knows the back shoulder throw is coming.
All the 38-42 ticks remain. And wide open is Taylor. And he makes a reception to the 15-yard line.
So we read the corner, throw the corner. It never changes. He's going to sit. We talked about how the Bears like to sit on routes. He's going to read him sitting down. Watch him sit right there on Kittle, just enough, and allow him to fit it between the corner and safety. That's football quarterback 101. You read the corner, throw the corner. You high-low the corner. If he jumps or hesitates, that ball's going over the corner's head in between the safety and said corner.
James. Yeah.
But Taylor to the sideline. One timeout remaining, 37 seconds left. Mullins lays it off for Wilson. An outstanding tackle made by Danny Trevathan. Clock still running.
You know the thing about Mullins, Tom? Like he's not been comfortable making a throw as a timeout's taken.
That's the final timeout of this opening half.
I mean, he's throwing off his back foot. He's throwing sideways, sidearm. He's had 2 shots blocked early on. But he's just, because of the vicious pass rush by the front four of the Bears, it's very difficult for him to make a married throw. Feet, shoulders, arm, eyes to the target. He's throwing it any way he can throw it.
Did you learn all that from your dad, the legendary Sonny Spielman? All that lineup kind of thing? I haven't seen you do that all year long, 16 weeks.
No, heck no. He ran the Houston Veer. Spring break, 1973. Bill Yeoman. Let's go, family. We're going to learn about the Houston Veer.
Private from Matheson.
There you go.
Second down. And broken up.
Oh, that's a great play by Danny Trevathan. These two guys work off of each other, Roquan Smith and Danny Trevathan. What I like about it is, again, jumping routes, not covering dirt. Watch him go ahead and meet Kittle and break on that football before the ball's being thrown. In order to do that, you have to have your feet underneath you and have a great break and time it perfectly.
So third time inside the red zone for the 49ers. And the first 2 trips ended with Robbie Gould field goals. And now Mullins throws. Remember, they're out of timeouts. And the clock continues to run to 17. I'm not sure he got to the first down. They're going to spike the ball if they can get lined up in time, which they should be able to here. Although it is a first down. And they're going to spike the ball. Wait a minute now. I think there's a lot of things going on here.
Well, before the ball was snapped, the previous play is under review.
Under review to see if he got a first down or not. And they'll have to reset the clock as well. And they'll get all that straightened out.
A little confusion was that the field goal team almost tried to do the fire drill. Hurry up and get out there. But you had 19 seconds when the fire drill started. We'll see if we'll get the first down.
Needed to get to the 5-yard line for a first down. That's Kendrick Bourne on the catch.
Looks like he's short. I mean, getting a lot of replays. Look, he's short there. So the confusion. Mike and Pereira, can you help us?
Well, we're having some technical difficulties. There we go, Mike. Go, Mike, start all over. We lost your mic there for a minute.
I've been going in and out all day, as a matter of fact.
That's all right.
So what they wanted to look here to see if he did, in fact, get the first down, which they ruled. He didn't. He looks like he's short of the 5-yard line. So what's key is here is that the game will restart. The clock will restart with the referee's signal. And so they got to make sure that San Francisco is up, ready, set to snap the ball to attempt the field goal.
Yep, which they are.
We certainly know with 4th down they can't spike it, so that's why they have to kick the field goal.
So they already have everybody out there, and once they let them know they're going to start the clock, they'll have the 5 seconds to make that snap. From Colin Holman to Bradley Pinion. I tell you what, we still have not heard an official word that he did not get a first down.
Because they initially ruled it a first down.
Yep. And now we'll hear from Alex Kemp.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
Wow. So now the clock will again start when they blow the whistle. So the 49ers are ready to kick this field goal. This will be a 23-yard try by Gould to put the 49ers in front at halftime. 2 of 2 so far on the day is goal. And now they blow the whistle. Clock starts, and the kick is up, and it is good. And that's the way the first half will end. So, you know, if you're the 49ers, you're excited, you're ahead, but you've had 3 trips inside the red zone and only 3 field goals against this great defense.
That seems like about the season, right? That's how they've been.
Play the first half presented by DirecTV. More for your thing. That's our thing. A touchdown. It's been a while for Anthony Miller. Well, he was a touchdown machine early on in his rookie year. That's his first since a loss to the Giants on that Oompa Loompa play. 49ers will get the ball to begin the second half. Fox NFL Sunday will continue with a Visa halftime report right after this. That was today's game flow, brought to you by Progressive. Just about set for the start of the third quarter. Anthony Miller, the touchdown for the Bears, but the 49ers go down the field in the final minute and 23 seconds to get a field goal at the buzzer. And you see the numbers. One takeaway, the first since early October for this San Francisco defense. James had a huge return last week for a touchdown, and he's dropped his time to the 24. And an early Merry Christmas to everybody. He's a Hall of Fame nominee, Chris Spielman, and with Shannon Spake, I'm Tom Brenneman. Well, here we are at halftime. You thought we were going to have a good game today.
Yeah, I did. I think you look at the 49ers, and they're able to keep this a close game because they've been pretty effective running the football. Nick Mullins hasn't been sacked, Tom, but I'm telling you, the pressure is there, and he's making some crucial throws off balance, out of the pocket, doing what he has to do.
You know, we saw the softer side of Chris Spielman by all the beautiful decorations.
Yeah, how about that?
You set up here in the booth. Actually, the credit goes to Bill Anderson. We thank Billy so much for all the beautiful work in here in the Christmas spirit. So they let the pressure come this time, and they dump it off to Kittle. Runs into his own man. And still on his feet. That'll be a gain of 9 for the tight end, George Kittle. Shannon, what's going on down at halftime?
Yeah, Tom, let's start with the Bears. Matt Nagy said it's not hard. We just have to play better in the second half. He said offensively he feels like they were a little sloppy, but said I could do a better job calling some of the plays. Is happy with his defense. As far as Kyle Shanahan said, I asked him a grade he would give his team, and he said good enough. Not good enough in the red zone, something he certainly pointed out.
I'm glad you had a chance to catch up with Coach Nagy.
There you go.
We were unable to do that this week.
Big, big, big!
Second down and 2. And Wilson able to break a couple of tackles, but I think he's still short of a first down. I mean, some bodies just crunching against one another down there. You had Hicks and Floyd and Juszczyk.
Well, it starts out with right here, Leonard Floyd. You know, Leonard Floyd doesn't get all the headlines because Khalil Mack gets a lot of these headlines. But that's just a great job of playing off the block, and I love the effort. All the time you see a run, you're always going to see 5 or 6 Bear defenders around the football. One thing that makes them great, not only their excellent skill play, but they hustle and play with vengeance.
The third down, 4, and reception is made. The question is, where was the forward progress? It looks like it's enough for a first down up to the 35-yard line. That's a nice catch by Goodwin.
Yeah, one man's loss is another man's opportunity. And Goodwin does a good job of not getting knocked off his route by Fuller. Fuller gets there just a tad early, but Goodwin is strong enough to hold it on. And remember, he's playing now because Dante Pettis was knocked out. And somebody has to step up for this 49er offense as a skilled player or an outside wide receiver. And right now, Goodwin's been pretty solid.
Well, he had a big year last year. They were expecting a much better season than Goodwin has had. He had 56 catches for almost 1,000 yards his first as a 49er last year. Big hit. And because of that hit, underthrown. That's Mack once again.
So being a rookie, know where your help is if you're getting help. Watch this right here. McGlinchey right here. All your help is out here. So you want to protect the inside. You got Juszczyk and Kittle sitting out there. Come on, Mac, come out here. And McGlinchey, force him out that way. Turn your shoulders, do what you have to do. You have two guys ready to help on the outstanding Khalil Mack, who just plays with great effort, lunges, does whatever he has to do to get to the quarterback. But McGlinchey has to understand where help is and force Mack to your help.
A trade, of course, made just prior to the season to acquire Mack from the Oakland Raiders. And there he is yet again. I mean, he is all over the field. That is an incompleted pass.
Well, let's instead of
Pro Bowlers there, Hicks and Mack.
Instead of meeting in Orlando, let's meet in Mullinsville. And right here, here's a Hicks and Mack. And again, we talk about Hicks at 330-some pounds coming back, adjusting. And that's tough duty for Kittle on the run to try to block Khalil Mack, as you see Akeem Hicks slow to get up.
But he is getting up.
No sacks, but constant pressure.
Yeah, he appears to be all right.
Good.
I mean, they're really worried about Eddie Jackson. He had that interception in the end zone last week against Green Bay to seal the win over the Packers, and then injured his ankle as he was falling down after the interception. So he is not up this week. And the big fella Hicks looks like he's all right.
His game is up. I mean, Mack has elevated everybody's game. That's what Vic Fangio told us, right? He walked in the building, everybody got better instantly.
Alert squeeze.
Be a 3rd down and 10. Here comes the blitz. And it is Wilson. Appears to be about a foot short of the 1st down. And the 49ers will have to punt it. Or will they?
You know, you can say,
or will they?
Well, you got nothing to lose, but I think you will. But say what you want about this guy. The one thing he has is he has no fear. And you have that guy coming at you, and you're able to pump it and reload to deliver the strike on the slant to Wilson. It's just a great job by Nick Mullins. But once again, no clean throws. There's always somebody bothering him, pestering him.
All right, so they come up just short of converting 3rd down and 10, and a fair catch by Cohen at the 10. So now the Bears trailing by 2. Get the ball for the first time in the 2nd stanza. Four first-half possessions. They had the touchdown. Punted a couple of times. Could have easily had 2 turnovers and no touchdowns. Were another turnover taken away on a San Francisco penalty.
Yeah, they also had a missed field goal.
Trubisky 9 of 12, 137 yards, a touchdown. He connected with 8 different players. And they started this drive from the 10. And that's a good way to get it started. And the ball is out, and the Niners have taken it away again. Allen Robinson on the reception, but had it ripped out of there. And the 49ers, who had not had a takeaway on defense since the first week of October, have 2 of them in the game today. They've been waiting a while to pose for that picture.
And Marcel Harris is going to get the tackle and the strip. Right there. 2nd guy in. He's got the tackle secured, and the knee is down right there. That should be going the other way. They might have caught a break right there. And Allen Robinson, one thing he does have is strong
Previous play
hands.
is under review.
I think the Bears are going to keep the ball, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we will take a break. Harris might want to put that helmet back on. The ruling on the field overturned as the knee was indeed down before the ball came loose of Allen Robinson II.
You just look at why turnovers are always emphasized in the defensive meeting room. You know, one place they're emphasized is obviously in that Chicago Bear meeting room. 35 takeaways.
But look at the Niners, 6 of them. And that includes the one today. The fewest since 1940 is 11 in a single season. That's a 16-game, 14 or 16-game schedule. So it's a gain of 9. And I think that it looked like Buckner may have grabbed the face mask unless he was held.
Yeah, this is just bad luck.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 99, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's really bad luck.
First of all, the quickness of Buckner off the line of scrimmage and plays with a great motor, equally talented run versus pass. Right here, he's going to jump inside of Daniels, and just reaching for Jordan Howard is the proper call right there, and the Bears catch a break. Penalties have really hurt the 49ers on key plays. Remember the interception called back on a defensive holding call on Fred Warner.
Tariq Cohen checks into the backfield. Automatic first down after the penalty to the 34-yard line. Quick throw, catch made up to the 40, and the ball is out again. What are they saying on the field? Are they saying he was down? That was Trey Burton. Well, it seems like we got something going on every single play here in this second half.
I think Robert Saleh had a meeting with his guys. We're not going to be the worst turnover team in the history of the NFL. And right there, yep, he's down.
Yep.
But the guys are obviously securing the tackle first and ripping violently to get that ball out of there second. Now, when the Bears get off the field together after a touchdown punt, whatever the case may be, they need to get together, remind each other, ball security, #1 goal.
Cohen, the reception, still on his feet across the 45, and that'll move the chains for Chicago on this, the Bears' first possession of the third quarter.
Well, this is a really good read by Mitchell Trubisky because he's going up against a guy that's not going to jump underneath. Understanding you're getting this with this. Richard Sherman's going to play deep to short. See how he's not jumping underneath, taking away the deep route first. Pure zone defense. And Trubisky makes the proper read as he stands in again and makes a solid throw. Lined up to the target.
In a very quiet game for Cohen. Damn surprised we haven't seen more of this from Jordan Howard. We had that sequence of plays where he went 10, he went 9, he went 9, and then they tried to get cute and wound up turning the football over.
Well, you know it's a well-blocked play when Leno pulls around the offensive tackle. He turns up into the hole, and he's got to go 4 yards downfield to kind of look for somebody to block. I just want you to take a look at this. He's going to come around, and he can't find anybody to block on the pull. Look at Leno. Where can I go? There's nobody to block, so there's going to be a big hole there. I've never seen an offensive lineman hit an open hole like that.
Hey, they probably like having a break every now and again. Howard once more and powers his way to the San Francisco 40, Chicago first down. Over the last 3 seasons, only Ezekiel Elliott and Todd Gurley have rushed for more yards than Jordan Howard, and he just turned 24 years old. Good player.
Yeah, he was basically a non-factor early on for the Bears. Remember, we had him week 4 against Tampa, and he's becoming more of a factor. And as the playoffs go on, everybody understands if you want to win in the playoffs, eventually you got to pound the rock.
Well, they're just sitting down. 6, 7 yards down the field and easy throws this time to Gabriel.
Well, when you play Robert Saleh, when you understand you're getting zone defense. So those little 5-yard throws are going to be there. And the whole purpose of the zone is to break up and not miss tackles and eliminate yards after catch. Make an offense be patient. That's what he is. Yeah, Pete Carroll disciple. What do we see the Seahawks play? Zone. These guys are a 3-deep zone. 8-man in the box. So those underneath routes are there all day.
Timeout going to be taken by Chicago with that play clock winding down. They appear to be very confused. And the Bears' first timeout of this third quarter. So he's not happy at all with his quarterback. Yelled out at him, turned and walked away momentarily before regrouping and coming back.
Usually when a coach gets that upset, it's a communication issue between the quarterback and himself. Matt Nagy, of course, the play caller.
Coming up next Sunday, the crew of the Starship Orville is back. From creator Seth MacFarlane comes a brand new season of thrilling missions and epic adventures. The Orville Season 2 premieres a week from today after football. On Fox, that'll be week 17 next weekend. Boy, there could be some fascinating games with everything on the line. Who's in? Who's out? Second down and 3. That's a forward pass to Gabriel, and he has a first down inside the 30.
Standing effort by Robinson and Bellamy out on the edge. Blocking. If you're going to play in this offense and you're playing wide receiver, the one thing you better do because of the screen game is block downfield. This is really a great job of discipline of not holding, getting a hat on a hat, and letting Gabriel work. Bellamy's outside, Robinson's outside. See the guys just face him up. Nothing devastating. Get in their way and let your guy make a move. Taylor Gabriel.
First down at the 28-yard line. And Cohen. Boy, can you believe that quickness? Goodness gracious. Breaking ankles all over the field.
So this guy, now take this and keep it in relative, keep it relative. This is the closest thing to a Barry Sanders run that I've seen since doing the NFL. That, and just be able to turn that corner quick. Just that stop and go jump start. Just that little run. That was a typical Barry Sanders run, which you covered.
Well, but yeah, but you played with him.
Yeah.
You saw him every down. They dump it off to Trey Burton, and he is short of a first down by a couple of yards. You were a teammate of Barry Sanders. How many years?
7 years.
7 years. Man.
There's two players that I used to make a point of watching the film. I used to watch the film and go in and watch Barry Sanders just by myself and just enjoy it. Then I would go in and watch my teammate in Buffalo, Bruce Smith, and how dominant he was. Because even though I was watching linebackers in secondary, I just go in and focus on Bruce Smith and what a dominant player he was. Big third down.
Tariq Cohen at the bottom of your screen. Empty backfield. Need to get to the 18-yard line. And just sitting down in the middle of the field, it's good enough for a first down. Close to the 10-yard line, and once more it's Robinson.
This is DJ Reed letting him off too early. 3rd 2, 3rd 3. If you're going to be this tight, get hands and get physical. If you give him a clean release, it's too easy. See that? It's such an easy, clean release. You want to take away the inside at all costs because that's the easiest throw for a quarterback to make. Use your hands. Disrupt number 2. Number 2 receiver. That's the second guy from the sidelines.
Drive started all the way back 70 yards ago. And on first down, they come the other way with Gabriel. And he's inside the 5 to the 3-yard line for Gabriel. That's the 9th time he's carried it this year.
Well, we talk about the value of Tariq Cohen again. Just the fact that you're able to throw this quick pitch. Watch all these bodies flow, and here comes Gabriel. Watch the fake right here. Look at everybody going right there. You're losing Elijah Lee right off the get-go. Moore does a good job of holding his responsibility, forcing that ball back into the pursuing troops from the inside.
Second down and goal. Michael Burton in the I formation in front of Jordan Howard. And Howard into the end zone. A touchdown, Chicago Bears.
You got 2 guys in 1 gap. It's simple. Whether you're out in the field or on the goal line, as a defender, you have to have 1 guy, 1 gap. The 49ers caught with 2 guys in 1 gap, and it's an easy walk-in for Howard.
Going after by Parkey is good. So Chicago recaptures the lead. Jordan Howard. with his 7th rushing touchdown. What a drive for Trubisky and the Bears. The longest drive time-wise this entire season for the Chicago Bears. 7 minutes and 43 seconds, spanning 90 yards.
So, are they playoff-ready offense? That was a playoff-ready offense right there. The other thing is, when other teams make mistakes, you don't blow your opportunity to capitalize on those mistakes. You keep drives alive. Evidence that DeForest Buckner 15-yard face mask.
Richie James Jr. And how about that coverage? Getting down the field and making the tackle, Joel Iyiegbuniwe. Or something close. Let's go down to Shannon.
Good job there, Tom. You know, Nick Mullins,
stop.
They're going to come out here with some key guys missing on this offense, key targets. Let's start with tight end Garrett Selleck. He is out with a head injury. Dante Pettis, the downfield threat, he has a knee injury, and Matt Breida, ankle. They are all ruled out for this game.
All righty.
It's just been kind of the story of Kyle Shanahan's offense this year. 3rd quarterback, 3rd running back.
Throwing on 1st down, Mullins. And a reception made by Bourne all the way up to the 33-yard line. Iyiegbuniwe. Got to make sure I get that young man's name correct. I mean, it's important to his family and important to him and all of you.
Kendrick Bourne is taking advantage of his opportunity. This is just a really nice route. He's going to work inside, perfectly timed. And when you give Nick Mullins this kind of time to throw the football, he's going to deliver it on target. Look at that. He comes out of his break and throws away from the inside defender, but really well done by Bourne and Mullins. And Mullins had time without duress or something in his face.
Wilson on the catch, trying to get back to the inside. And Roquan Smith on the stop. Let's check in with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks so much, Tom. So Pittsburgh trailing on the road when Ben Roethlisberger connects with Jalen Samuels for that 3-yard score. 2-point conversion was good. Tied up. Saints would add a field goal, 17-14 at the half. Tom?
2nd down for San Francisco. The Saints trying to nail down home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs. And dropped is Mullins, and that's Roquan Smith, his 5th sack of the year.
Well, the rookie offensive tackle sees it too late. I'm going to tell you why. Juszczyk has a free release, so he's not responsible for blitzers. He's going to have a free release. He's going to block down. Once he goes inside, he has to be able to come back and seal that gap. Take a look right there. See, you have 2-on-1, and McGlinchey tried to get back, but because his head wasn't up and aware, Roquan Smith, with his great speed, is able to close on Mullins and get a sack and do his best Khalil Mack imitation.
The loss of 9 brings up 3rd down and 17. They need to get to the 42-yard line, and it's blown dead before it ever gets started.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
How does that happen? I think Kyle Shanahan's wondering the same thing.
Yeah, run the ball and get out here and punt play defense, or run a screen, because you have Mack coming. Now they're going to bring 3 and drop 8, but he's still coming.
Just a 3-man rush. And Mullins just throws it straight into the ground.
He tried to throw the screen to Kittle. They tried to get Mack upfield to create some type of space, but he's having none of it. Not only is he a great physical player, but also excellent in the mind. Watch him come off his pass rush. See that? Coming right to Kittle, which took it away. That's why he is so dominant for this football team, because when you have all the physical traits plus the smarts that he has, he's just a beast to block.
So Bradley Pinion on the punt from inside his own 10-yard line. Cohen stands at his own 40. Bears should get good field position here. Good punt by Pena. Really good. And back up at the 34 is where the Bears will start it. Chicago stepping up here in the second half, is taking the lead. All right, a lot going on right now. The Bears trying to keep pace with the Rams. They're going to hope that the Rams lose next week and the Bears win next week. If they finish with identical records, the Bears would get the #2 seed. And the Saints are driving in the third quarter to the Pittsburgh 25-yard line, leading by 3 as the Saints try and nail down that #1 seed. What a move made by Anthony Miller, and that'll be a gain of 8.
That's what this offense is built on. You have all these athletes like Anthony Miller, Tariq Cohen, Taylor Gabriel. Get the ball in space and force the 49ers or any other opponent to tackle you in space. Ooh, man, that's nice.
Anybody ever do that to you?
Yeah, number 20 when I was playing.
Oh, come on, I'm talking about on another team. Anybody ever do that to you where he literally faked you out of your shoes?
I'm sure it happened.
You just don't want to reveal that it happened. Up to the 45-yard line. It didn't happen much. You were piling up a couple of hundred tackles a year all those seasons, Pro Bowl years with the Detroit Lions and later the Buffalo Bills.
I got credited with a lot of JOPs. You know what JOPs are, right?
What are they?
Jump on pile.
That's all right.
I was the king of that. This is where they're so dangerous. When they keep you guessing on run pass. They run that spread formation. They spread a bunch of defenders out. They try to clear it out. Or if they have numbers, they're going to throw the quick screen.
Trubisky, by the way, just became the 6th quarterback in Bears history to throw for 3,000 yards in a season, and he'll pile on here. A gain of 9 on the catch by Burton. He joins Eric Kramer, Jay Cutler, Rex Grossman, Billy Wade, and Jim Harbaugh. How about that? End of the third. Fox NFL Sunday continues after a break from your local Fox station. The Howard touchdown, giving Chicago a 14-9 lead. The Jordan Howard touchdown, the only score for either team in the third quarter. So the Bears have the ball, driving. A second down, and we'll call it 2 at the 49ers 47. Cohen will not escape. He nearly did. I mean, Ronald Blair had him and then didn't have him and then did have him. I don't know if you ever have him.
He is so difficult because of his size, too. He's hard to find. And Ronald Blair, number 98, coming down from the inside, doing his job of holding his cutback lane, does enough to slow him up. Where Buckner can finish him off. Big third down. Now let's see if the 49ers play zone or man in this short coverage, in this short yardage for a first down.
Trubisky has hit his last 10 pass attempts. And that's Mizell in the backfield. Left all alone and wide open. How do you lose Robinson?
Well, that's why you should be playing man. I mean, 3rd and 4. You're so concerned because of the bunch. Moore is so concerned about something coming over here. This is just too easy. So when you play zone, Mitchell Trubisky's done a great job of what Matt Nagy wants him to do. It's this simple, Tom. Throw to the open guy. And so when you're that far off, just get the first down and move the chains and stay patient with your offense. Exactly what the play calling has dictated for Mitchell Trubisky, and that's why he's been so efficient at 19 for 22 for 210.
Including 11 in a row. Howard for 2, maybe 3. Howard is 10th carry of the game and averaging almost 4.5 yards per attempt. That's where you've seen the numbers come down for Howard. He went for 1,300 his first year, but over 5 yards to carry. 1,100 last year, over 4 yards to carry, and not even 800 this year at 3.5 a carry.
You know, the thing about him, though, he does save a lot of hidden yards. For example, he doesn't make it 2nd and 12. He makes it 2nd and 7. Those are little things that matter.
Trubisky looking for 12 in a row, but he will be smothered. Back at the 43-yard line, DeForest Buckner A Pro Bowl snub, many in these parts believe, picks up a whopping 12th sack of the year.
Well, I want to show you a couple things. First of all, here's Buckner, but also watch Jordan Howard pick up this blitz. Then you can watch both guys. That's what I like to do. See, here's Buckner working on Whitehair, who does a pretty good job stepping up, but the one thing you're getting is effort. You see Jordan Howard with that block? Threw him out of the saloon. Had enough.
Been there. Been there.
Big third down.
Third down and 10. They're coming after the quarterback who gets it away, and it's underthrown. And a flag comes in very late. And the 49ers are applauding the call.
Yeah, I think they're going to get Robinson for the push-off. And this is a better call by Robert Saleh, the defensive coordinator. Instead of giving something up, watch where Moore lines up this time.
Pass interference, offense number 12. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a 4th down.
And you got to let your guys challenge, right? And right here, he does a great job of playing man-to-man. No more gimmies underneath. Takes away the inside. And I saw the little push with the right arm right there, and the ball was underthrown anyway. But I love the fact that Saleh got aggressive. Get up there and challenge him. Let's go.
So that will force a Chicago punt. 12 to go here in Santa Clara. Very short punt. Of course, trying to pin him inside the 15, and that O'Donnell will do. 49ers get the football. 14-9 Chicago. Well, for those of us old enough to remember, how about the monsters of the Midway under Mike Ditka in the 80s and Buddy Ryan?
Yeah, you're talking about being good at all levels. And, you know, the linebackers, right? Otis Wilson, Mike Singletary, of course, but the guy that I really loved was Wilbur Marshall.
Oh, yeah. Great play.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you're right there.
49ers closing in on 12 minutes to play, trailing by 5, and on first down, Mullins. That's a nice leaping catch made by Kittle. Short gain. Shannon Spake.
Yeah, speaking of the monsters of the Midway, Akeem Hicks told me he has actually spoken with Richard Dent and Dan Hampton this season, and the advice from those two guys, just keep doing it. Take advantage of everything that you guys have done this season. Keep pushing forward.
Yeah, they had some characters on that team too now. Fridge, McMichael,
Well, how about
Pensick.
Buddy Ryan and Mike Ditka? I don't know if they it worked. It worked.
It worked. They found a way to make it work. Batted down at the line of scrimmage. That's the third time in the game today Akeem Hicks has knocked down a Mullins pass.
Well, so we got a little bit of this is a 3-step drop basically, right? In the 3-step drop, the one thing you have to do is get his hands down. Or excuse me, Hicks is right there, get his hands down. One way to do that, take him high, then cut him at his kneecaps. That'll get his hands down. On a 3-step drop or a quick throw. That's his third block shot. I mean, he's going after it.
A lot of Bears fans, naturally, wherever they go. Third down, and it will be a first down reception made by Kittle. He is the money man for this 49er offense.
So George Kittle was asked, when are you open? When I'm in man, I'm open. That's how much he believes in his ability right here, and you're giving him too much of a cushion. Good close, but Kittle, remember, a 4.52 guy that plays at 4.52. Fast. Runs with anger and confidence.
At the University of Iowa, they had tried to talk Kittle into moving over to defense. All day to throw, and now down the middle of the field, and the reception is made by Kittle inside the 40-yard line. And I think we have an injured Bear on the play. And that is Kyle Fuller, who has 7 interceptions this year. And again, the footing on this field, I mean, Pete Carroll went off at the conclusion of the game here last week when the Seahawks were in. I mean, you had guys falling down all over the place, and we've seen it again today.
Well, I know Shannon had a report earlier that the Bears came in, nobody wearing the plastic molds, but everybody wearing the cleats, and that's what the 49ers wear. We'll see if we can see where Kyle Fuller. I don't know what happened to Kyle there. Remember, and Eddie Jackson was lost last week to a non-contact injury when he's trying to do the baseball slide.
Yep.
Making a smart play.
It's a 17th reception of 20 yards or longer this season by Kittle, and that is most among NFL tight ends. Just having a spectacular year, and he's on his way to the Pro Bowl. His father, an offensive lineman on that Iowa Rose Bowl team of '82. Catch made by Richie James Jr. And Shannon, you were all over that story last week about the cleats being changed by the Seahawks over and over again.
Yeah, that's right. And the Bears, they were watching that too all week long. They told their players, make sure that you are wearing the proper cleats. They wore them in practice, wore them out here. I watched each and every Bears player come out of the locker room for warm-ups. Almost every single one of them tested the condition of the field before they went out there. I'll tell you, earlier this morning it was super slick. It has dried out a lot, but you can see as it's cooling down, it's starting to get a little slippery again.
The best way to do that, Shannon and Tom, find out what the home team's wearing. Then that's what you wear.
That was 6 again. What a pickup this guy has been. We started to talk about it earlier. First came into the league with New Orleans, was a good player. Had some great moments, but was never what you call a great player. Went to New England, and then the Bears signed him 3 years ago, and he has become among the very best in all of the NFL.
Well, the scary thing about him, if you're an offensive guard, is that at his size, at 330 or whatever, he's a big man, right? But he's so quick off the ball. And if you have defensive tackles a la Aaron Donald, and those guys are quick, they win the get-off point, they're going to get you every time.
False start. Offense, number 58, didn't snap the ball. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Let's check in back in Los Angeles with Kurt Menefee.
Well, as you know, if the Saints win, they clinch home field throughout the playoffs. Alvin Kamara, second touchdown of the day, puts them up 24-14. But Pittsburgh's inside the 5-yard line, trying to close the gap in the third quarter. Tom, Chris, and Shannon.
All right, Kurt, thank you very much. I'm sure Steeler fans are wondering how in the world do we draw New England and New Orleans in weeks 15 and 16.
Let's watch the rookie work on that.
Pretty good job. And boom, a first down leaping catch to the 18. Man, the more you watch this Bourne, he makes some plays when they give him a chance.
Yeah, he made some tough catches last week and starts off with the protection and the good route by Bourne, working right here on an inside post. And the protection's there. McGlinchey took care of Mack, and you have guys jumping routes. Remember how we told you the Bears like to jump routes? When you jump routes and you have time to throw, that allows the deeper route to come open. Give Mullins that kind of time, he's not going to miss.
And we've seen that twice on his drive. The big hit to Kittle, and now that one for 23 to Bourne. Good protection again. And is it intercepted? I believe it's takeaway time for the Chicago defense. And that is Danny Trevathan. It would be his second interception of the year, and it is. I'm not sure what happened there.
Well, Wilson dropped the ball is what happened. I mean, Wilson peeked up at Trevathan. When he peeked up at Trevathan, he took his eye off the ball. The ball deflects off of his hands right into Trevathan's hand. Watch him. See that peek right there?
That's Godwin.
Oh, good one. Good one. I'm sorry. Good one. My apologies, Wilson Jr. Good one. Make the catch.
Good, not so good. And real good for the Bears.
Danny Trevathan, second pick of the year. Solid player, and that was a team turnover because it started on the line of scrimmage with Khalil Mack, not pass rushing at first. We'll show it to you in a second.
Bears have only one game this entire year where its defense did not come up with a takeaway. They've had 3 games with 4. They've had 5 games with 3. That's a 14-yard gain on a reception by Miller.
So watch Khalil Mack right here. He's going to get hands on Goodwin, which slows him down and allows Roquan Smith to be able to run with him. Now the ball's a little bit outside of Goodwin's hands. He has two hands on it, and he's always got one hand on it. But Goodwin normally can make that catch. But Trevathan, about jumping routes and being there in position to make plays when you have an opportunity to make plays. They're a turnover machine, the Chicago Bears, on defense.
I think Mullins felt like he led his receiver a little too far that time, because if he just throws it right in the basket, that's a clean catch.
Yeah, I take that back. I mean, I put that one on Mullins. I don't put that on Goodwin. That goes to you. You got to put the ball in his hands, and plus you got to protect the wide receiver, because if he catches it, Danny Trevathan is going to light him up. Tough break for Goodwin. Played well today for the injured Dante Pettis.
47. Now we get a look. We talked about at the very beginning of the game, where the Bears feel like they have a playoff-ready offense. There's a catch made by Mizell, and there are times in a game, and this upcoming play is one of them. You got the ball back with 7.5 to go. Can you pick up the 3, 4, or 5 first downs and put this thing on ice?
Yeah, not only times in the game, right, but times in the season. And let's see what San Francisco does here. Now remember, they're a big zone team. You got to play man here because of the efficiency of that man, Mitchell Trubisky, and Robert Saleh. See if he calls man and not give him the easy one.
Trubisky's been sacked 3 times in the game. Put it down at 5, looking for Cohen initially, and now Trubisky running, and flag is down, and a late hit. Boy, what a nasty hit that was on the quarterback, who had already given himself up. And Richard Sherman is in there throwing fist. Cassius Marsh coming in to break it up. So you got a couple of penalties going on here. You have the one in the backfield, and then you have the late hit on Trubisky. Hard to tell who it was once he went down, and then a big crowd there.
Yeah, that's
Harris.
Now, the positive for what Harris does is he keeps his helmet out of it. He's going to hit him with his chest. You got to be able to pull off on that today's day and rule, and that's a rookie mistake right there. Because you have the holding penalty, that would have made it 3rd and 15. But because of the late hit, that negates the holding penalty, or at least offsets it. And I can understand why the Bears sideline is upset.
Richard Sherman over there trading blows with
Bellamy.
Yeah, Joshua Bellamy, wide receiver.
Kyle Long there trying to keep the peace.
It's amazing. We've done back-to-back 49er games, and I don't think we've said Richard Sherman's name 3 times. That's how good he still is now. Nobody ever throws at him.
So you look at stat sheets, right? And when I see a corner, 0 tackles, that's usually a good sign, because they're not throwing to his side.
He has only given up 1 touchdown all year long.
I talked to John Lynch, and Richard has struggled a little bit earlier, struggled with some injuries, but John said he's really moving well now toward the end of the season, and it shows.
They've only thrown his way 39 times all year long. Mike Pereira, what are they talking about here that's taking so long?
Well, what they have here, it's an interesting situation, because what you have is a fight, essentially, and fouls were called. Now, it's really hard getting the right numbers and getting all the people that participated in the fight, but in the new rule this year, since a foul was called, New York can actually come in and call other penalties and eject other players. So they'll look at the entire action to see who needs to be ejected. And there was a call, by the way, a live ball foul, along with these dead ball fouls. So in the end, it could all offset, but you're going to have to see who gets ejected.
All right, Mike Pereira, thank you very much.
Been in a few of those skirmishes, and
you have?
I just, yeah, shocker, aren't you? But
that's every production meeting.
You know, I think in those situations, if they can you know, let the guys play. I don't know, offset everything, give them a penalty or whatever, but let it stay in the game in the crucial time of the game. No harm, no foul. You just hate to see guys, if anybody gets ejected in this part of the game, in this time of the game. As Mike said, everything could offset, and we live to go 3rd and 5 again.
They are still gathered around Alex Kemp. Got the umpire Rich Hall there. And you also have Jeff Bergman, the line judge. That's John Jenkins down there having a lengthy conversation with the future Hall of Famer Richard Sherman.
Yeah. This is where he's got to get his guys together. And they'll catch a break, actually, if they can relive 3rd down here. It could have been 3rd and 15. Marcel Harris, young rookie hustling to the quarterback, could not pull off. The only smart thing he did was kept his head out of the game.
Now, Mike, they don't have any communication right now with New York, correct? I mean, standing on the field.
No, they do have communication. They've got through their
I
what they call
they do, right.
Yeah, and again, if they themselves rule that a player is going to be ejected, then that also goes to New York to be confirmed. So New York has got huge involvement in this, because I get the fact that this part of the game that you hate to see ejections,
right,
but the one thing the league hates to see is fights.
Yeah.
And so they're not going to treat this any differently because we're at this point in the 4th quarter than you would if it was the 1st quarter. It's just in this time of player safety and trying to keep control, the league does not really react kindly to fights.
Yeah, Mike, what about all, like, a bunch of guys are in there shoving and pushing and all that? I mean, does that make a difference?
Hold on. Let's see what Alex Kemp's going to tell us the outcome, we think.
Alex is going to tell you we're going to commercial.
That's right. No, thanks a lot.
He said we need more time.
All right, Mike, stay right there, though, because we'll have time on the other side of this break. All right, there's a lot going on here. And Mike Pereira, I want to get back to you for a minute. During the offseason, a lot was made about New York having the ability to throw players out of a game.
There were multiple fouls
Here we go.
on the play. Holding, offense, number 72. Personal foul, defense, number 36. We also have 3 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. Number 17, offense. Number 15, offense, and number 25, defense. 17, 15, and 25 have all been disqualified from the game. The penalties will offset. We'll replay 3rd down.
All right, now everybody take a look at the Chicago sideline. You're going to see Miller, Pott, Harris, and then you'll see Bellamy 15 throws the first punch that really led to the melee, and Sherman got wrapped up in that. Watch 15. When Sherman comes over 25, Bellamy just starts throwing punches. 15. And Sherman hit back, and I want to ask Mike Pereira something about this call, though, because that might be the first time that has happened this year where New York has thrown players out of a game. And it was much talked about before this season began. Big 3rd down. And it's a catch, but appears to be short of the first down. That is Adam Shaheen. And Mike, very quickly, do you think that's the first time that's happened this year where New York has thrown players out of a game?
You know, I'm in our command center with Dean Blandino, and we think it actually is the first time that they've done it, but it's exactly why they gave New York this authority. When you're in the middle of the melee, it's hard to get the right numbers, and even when you're looking at it several times in replay, it's hard. So that's why New York wanted to be involved, and when the competition committee wanted them to be involved, and I think it worked the way they wanted it to.
All right, Mike, thank you. Are the Bears thinking about going for it, 4th down and a yard with 4:20 to go? There's a challenge flag on a spot coming down, thrown by Coach Nagy.
Yeah, the clock operates.
Any 3rd and 5
Chicago
or
is
less.
challenging the ruling on the field.
They love to work the 2-man game away from 3 wide receivers. Here's the 2-man game, and Shaheen's going to come in and cut this a little bit short as Tariq Cohen's going to go outside. Mitchell Trubisky throws a nice ball, and we'll see where Shaheen, if he was able to reach out past that first down marker from that angle, was very difficult to tell.
The call on the field is that he is short of a first down.
Let's see if we can see it from here. There's Shaheen working right here. The throw.
Hard to tell.
It's hard to tell. Let's see. Nice catch, though. Flipping his hips to get the ball from the inside, and good awareness of where the down marker is to try at least make an effort to get to that first down marker. Yeah, I think he's maybe just a tad short. Had to get to the 36-yard line. It looked like he was just short of the 36. You know, if you're the Bears, the one thing you do is you do try to hard count. I'm not sure I would go for it right now. Your defense is so good, so this is the time where you punt and play defense. Trust your defense. You don't want to give the 49ers a short field.
So again, the call on the field is it's short. If the Bears lose this challenge, they lose the timeout, and they will be out of challenges for the remainder of this game.
The 49ers still have all their timeouts left. I think at the very least, though, you might as well try the hard count. Remember, you got a lot of young players for that 49er defense.
All right, while they continue to take a look at it, let's get a quick game break here. Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles.
And we'll continue to watch the Pittsburgh Steelers come back against the Saints. Once down 28-14. Antonio Brown's second touchdown catch of 20 yards. Makes it 2 touchdowns in a row for the Steelers, and now they're up 28-24 late in the third, and a good one. Tom?
How about that?
Can't count them out.
Big Ben.
The way we had that game, Steelers against the Raiders, they didn't look very good, did they?
They did not.
And all of a sudden, you know, you put a challenge in front of them, going to New England and down in New Orleans. That's a tough duty.
Both the Bears and the Rams, meanwhile, leading here in late afternoon starts. Rams are down in Arizona. The Bears are 1 game behind the Rams.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Chicago is charged with their second timeout, and they're out of challenges for the game.
All right, so they're sending the offense on the field. You think there's any way they go for it here?
Yeah, I do, because I think he's a gambler, and it pays off for him a lot of times. But I think the right play is to punt and let your great defense win this ball game for you. But we'll see. You always got to be alert to hard count.
Bears are rated 13 on 4th downs this season, and they go for it and they get it.
Good surge.
Well, what a gutsy call. I don't know how many coaches in this league go for this at their own 35-yard line.
He went for it, and the problem is that the 49ers were light on that quarterback sneak. The thing I like about the quarterback sneak, it doesn't have time for the defensive line to penetrate to force the running back to run sideways. Now, if you're the 49ers, you got to start making plays and understand that they're going to use this clock.
Let's go, 48.
Got the ball with 7.5 to go. They think 4 minutes run off the clock. Jordan Howard to the 40, and maybe start thinking about timeouts now if you're the 49ers. Yep. And we're back after this message. All right, 2nd down and 7 with 3:30 to go. Bears trying to go to 11-4 on the year, and they'll have something to play for next weekend in Minneapolis.
Absolutely.
The Rams will play these 49ers in Los Angeles. Trubisky, the keeper, slides down. And this will bring up, as the 49ers use their second timeout, it'll bring up a 3rd down and 4. And, you know, we made the comment a minute ago when all the melee began about, you know, an offense, a playoff-worthy offense. Is that a question for the Chicago Bears team? Well, right now, they're working on about a 4.5 minute drive trying to nail this thing down.
Yeah, they had a 7-minute 43-yard drive, really. So that we said that's a playoff offense. And the aggressiveness of Matt Nagy going for it on 4th down, trusting his offensive line, Trubisky with the sneak. It's a gutsy call, but it's paid off.
Gutsy call indeed. Man, from your own 35-yard line, 5-point game.
We're on 3rd and 4 again.
Hey, Paccarell.
Trubisky to throw it. Wow. And a dart. A 1st down to Robinson to move the chains once more. And now the 49ers are in some trouble.
So not only a playoff offense, right? But how about a playoff quarterback? And this throw right here by Mitchell Trubisky, thrown away from the defensive back, blowing away in the strength of Allen Robinson. Look at that pass, just to the outside of Moore's left hand. And everything is tied together. Shoulders, feet, target, good read. And most importantly, the growth between Matt Nagy and Mitchell Trubisky, where he wants that young man to throw with conviction. And that was a throw with conviction.
Well, I don't know about what Mitch Trubisky does the rest of the time. Mitchell Trubisky, we saw him against Tampa Bay, threw 6 touchdowns. Today, he is 24 of 28 for 237 yards. He has completed 16 of his last 17 passes.
So I think what everybody wanted to see, if you're a Bears fan, is, you know, he's great at home. Can he do something like that on the road? What he does at home, can he do it on the road? And that throw right there, that's playoff throw. That's playoff ready.
96.
49ers using their final timeout. You have a 2-minute warning. They'll stop the clock, and this is Howard for the 47-yard line. That'll burn another half a minute off the clock. So basically, you'll go into next weekend with 3 teams looking for 2 spots. Seattle, Minnesota, and Philadelphia. The Rams and the Bears still have something to say about that 2nd spot and a 1st-round bye. The Bears will play in Minnesota.
The Eagles are in Washington, I believe, next week. But that's a Jordan Howard, that run right there, 2nd and 5. This is where he's valuable. Chew up the clock.
Well, this will get us to the 2-minute warning and bring up another 3rd down on this drive. 49ers out of timeouts. Well, you don't think the home team in the postseason is a big deal? Try these numbers on for size before we go to break. Wild card round, 71-41. Division round, 81-31. Championship game, 37-19. Those are the records for home teams in the playoffs. All right, so here we go, the 2-minute warning. A 3rd down and 3 coming up for the Bears, trying to put this thing on ice. They get a 1st down here. Outside of a total catastrophe, it's over.
Yeah, if you're Robert Saleh, you bring the house. You got Jordan Howard with an empty set. Let's see if he comes back into the backfield.
Yeah.
He does. They're bringing the blitz, and they get the 1st down. Robinson, but the ball is stripped away, and the 49ers have it. Tarvarius Moore, the rookie out of Southern Mississippi, punched it free, and Maven, who's in there for Sherman, gets a recovery, and the 49ers have life.
Well, first of all, it's a gutsy call to throw on this. Robinson's going to win on the inside, but Tarvarius Moore does not give up on the route. Gave up the inside, coming through, and look at the punch. That's so well done. Left hand secure the tackle. The punch right, you get the The gracious bounce to Maben, who picks it up. Wow, that would have been ball game right there. Now, the Munsters in Midway. The ball game's in your hands, and guess what? I'm pretty confident if I'm a Chicago Bear fan with this defense. But never count out the gritty Nick Mullins.
Come on! Well, that was Charles Tillman-esque.
That's beautiful.
That punch by Moore, and Mullins hit as he throws. Leonard Floyd applying the pressure and the hit on Mullins. Second down. 1:48 to go.
The thing about Leonard Floyd is that he's so good when he's in pass drops, but also this is something he brings, is speed off the edge. You have two guys with speed off the edge like these two. It's a very difficult matchup, and both of them have speed to power. McGlinchey is so worried about speed, he's getting out of there, gets a little bit off balance. Leonard Floyd jabs him, knocks him back, and is able to get there.
So Person had to lead the game. And Gary Gilliam takes over at right guard. Of course, the 49ers need a touchdown. Trailing by 5 with 1:48 to go. And now what? Well, there have been more reviews in this game. They want to see, I'm sure, if he actually was moving the arm forward or was it a fumble rather than an incompleted pass. Well, that's not even debatable.
Okay, let's go. It's good. It's a pass. Yeah. But that's Leonard Floyd and Khalil Mack. What makes them both so good as outside pass rushers. The thing tackles fear. Either you do one well, you got speed, or you got power. Both guys have great speed and great power.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It's an incomplete pass. Second down.
And now they bring in Joshua Garnett to play right guard.
Yep.
He's seen.
Well, he's going to have
time.
Yeah, he's going to have. Guess who's over him, right? And this is by design. You put Akeem Hicks, who's a tremendous inside pass rusher, right over Joshua Garnett. See if he can hold up.
All right, second down. Long way to go. 1:48 with the 49ers without a timeout. Mack, heavy pressure. Flags all over the field, and here's Kendrick Bourne. Run out of bounds close to midfield. But there are flags on the far side of the field and in the secondary.
I think they're going to get a holding on Floyd, I believe. I think he tackled Kittle.
While the quarterback still had the ball, holding, defense number 94. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down for the 49ers.
Well, you know, better that than letting the guy catch a touchdown pass, right? Yeah. If he's going to run by you and get open.
Well, they're certainly aware of Kittle, so Floyd got stuck a little bit. Kittle had a clean release on him, so he grabbed him and tackled him.
25-yard gain on a completion to Bourne. 4 catches for him, 72 yards. Pass rush coming. Mullen gets it away to Kittle. And he is hammered down. First by Amos Jr. and finished off by Smith with the clock running. Ball at the 45. We're at 1:27 to go. Mullen stepping up, looking down the field, and it's incomplete. Kittle in triple coverage down at the 15.
Tell you, I'm just watching two Warriors battle. Staley, left tackle. Khalil Mack, possibly the defensive MVP. Two guys with a lot of pride, heart, desire.
And success. Staley, a 5-time Pro Bowler.
Watch these two guys go at it, man. This is just fun to watch. Mack tries to set him up with an inside move. Staley doesn't bite and is able to drive him past Nick Mullins.
Third down and 4. That's too tall for Kittle. He had Kittle open on one side and Bourne open on the other side, and now it's 4th down.
Well, that's the first time that his feet were out of whack, and sometimes when you get so much pressure on a quarterback, his footwork gets a little bit messed up. Again, he's throwing off of his back foot. Nick Mullins is more solid when he's able to step to his target.
Alrighty. And the Bears fans here making some noise on this 4th and 4.
Kittle's his guy, right?
He just heaves it into the corner. He could have run for a first down there.
Did you hear all the fans? There was like a grunt because he didn't run for the first down.
And the Bears will take over on downs when very clearly Mullins could have not only run for a first down, but could have stepped out of bounds and kept the drive alive, and he basically threw a Hail Mary.
Good. Sherrick McManus, great coverage, looking back for the football. It's way out of bounds, and he's going to think about this all night. And it's a young quarterback, right? You have a chance to get that first down, you get the first down instead of throwing it up for grabs or throwing it out of bounds. At the very least, throw it inbounds so that Goodwin has a shot at it. Great coverage by McManus. Guy stepped up for the Bears defense.
Oh, you're right. McManus is born and raised in the state of Illinois. Grew up in Peoria, played collegiately at Northwestern. They brought him back in a trade from Houston and has been an excellent player. More and more playing time this year after the injury to Bryce Callahan. Yeah, but he just makes plays.
Yeah, he does. And he had great coverage on the track star. Fast guy, Marquise Goodwin, and he does it by technique. But just an opportunity and a learning opportunity. I know it's a tough one for Nick Mullins, but in that situation, at the very least, throw it inbounds. But more importantly, you want to, on 4th down, you got a chance to pick up the first down with your feet. Go ahead and take that.
Well, you and I are really hoping to see these Bears again next weekend in Minneapolis. I know all that has to get worked out and figure out what games might be swooped up by one network or another network for the final weekend of the year, but we're sure hoping to see Chicago and Minneapolis.
Well,
and they'll have a lot to play for next week.
Yeah, it's a great rivalry. And, you know, we saw the Bears in week 4 against Tampa Bay, and we're seeing them again. And their defense has only gotten better. And it's been helped by Roquan Smith in his growth and development and how quickly he's come around. Mitchell Trubisky, big game on the road. That's what a lot of people in Chicago wanted to see. And he made some clutch throws in crucial times. Jordan Howard getting tough yards in crucial times.
Young man out of Mentor, Ohio. That's east of Cleveland, up in your old neck of the woods.
What's up?
And the Bears will take a knee one more time, picking up their 11th win of the year. It is the most ever by a Chicago Bears first-year head coach. We told you have to go back to the Hall of Famer George Papa Bear Halas in 1920, won 10 games. Now, back in those days, they didn't have a 16-game schedule. But Matt Nagy picking up his 11th win and still a shot to play at home after a first-round bye if they beat Minnesota next week and the Rams were to lose against these 49ers in LA next week. We know the top 4 as the Bears are going to come out of here with a 14-9 hard, tough-nosed win. And Matt, just an incredible second half.
It's the end of the game.
Incredible. We'll be back with more from Santa Clara. Bears 11-4, champs of the NFC North.